Afternoon, this is Cheryl, Sea Spirit Tarot, and I'm going to do a deck interview, and I'm just going to kind of bring my way through this. I was gifted this deck of the Deviant Moon because something in it, being raised in Houston in the upper class, upper good side, but I worked for my dad down in the really bad part of town, in the salvage area, which is what he did. I lived in Southside Chicago when I was in my 20s, after I was done hitchhiking the whole hippie trail in California. And I saw these, I lived with people. I lived, even though I'd go home, I would live my daily life when I worked for my dad with those so much less fortunate than I was. And Chicago, Southside Chicago, I lived there the same time that song, Big Bad Leroy Brown, came out. So when I look at these cards, I see the Maxwell House refinery, or whatever you call it, with the steam coming out. I see the refineries in the east part of Houston, which is now being revitalized, of course, to be yuppie duppy or whatever they call it. But I see it. I feel these people. I feel these people. And then 30 years in RN, I specialized in psych. So I saw a lot of souls in lockdown psych. I mean, one place I worked was a 4-bed unit, 4 patients, 3 staff. And I worked a lot with dementia. And of course, with the psych and with regular med surge, as an RN, you work with a lot of death. Hands-on death of the person, hands-on death with the family and their coping. And one of the things I just really so disliked about nursing was the not holistic approach that is put out there. And I facilitated a good death. That's something I would be proud that I have done. What else do I have here? So when I saw these cards, it was like my heart of society. I saw these as a card to read society. Now, most interesting is I've been watching a bunch of interviews with them and with Pat Valenza. I know I didn't say his name right, and I've already put my box away because I keep empty boxes in another place. He said, make the cards your own. He says, draw mustaches on them if you want, whatever it is to make them your own. And I think they'll just be so easy to read in a personal basis, you know. People call them dark. The artist calls them empowering. That's pretty cool, huh? But when I saw these cards, I'm going to say it was that light. Heck with all these beauty lights. That's the light I have for my camera. I saw this as a card of our suffering as society, of being such a little bit of subconscious, and of the rulers, the service for self people who dictate how these people live. And I can see, I mean, the people that are not so privileged, this is how they live. A lot in their soul, and a lot in, he's got the physicality down just so beautifully. So I thought, and I guess I better keep with my thing, I have Prudence, who on another deck that I have is actually the middle of the world cards. All the virtues and faith, hope, and charity. Faith, hope, and charity. And I have the Arcturian's forgiveness. Forgiveness. Beautiful, isn't it? The geometry. That's what our language is really in, is geometry. Every word is a pattern vibration, and every vibration is a geometric structure. But anyway, let's interview the deck. So, you know, my guides, it brought me to be on here. And my gosh, now I've forgotten which Crowley card it was, but it's like there's no choice. This is what I'm here to do. And I'm trying to find out where in here is what I am supposed to be doing, exactly, if you know what I mean. So I was gifted this deck by a lovely lady, because I actually accidentally mentioned I might like to have it when I was saying I only had like 7 decks. But the 7 decks I have, I consider very powerful. And she sent me this deck, and look, a fish, a fish, a fish. I'm a Pisces, got a fish. Oh, a Mennonite, much wisdom. This stone's been around a long time, fossilized. Choo-choo, I forgot what this one was. It was a celestite. I forgot. But it's blue, it's throat chakra, and it's sweet, and it's comforting. It's sweet and it's comforting. And I think she called this one a fluorite. And fluorite, it could easily be, because, I mean, God, they come in so many colors. I have one I bought from an old witch in Salem years ago, and it's almost black, it's so purple. And I have this, like, faded out pyramid one, and I have another one that's a wand that is, you know, all the multicolors. So anyway, much love. We're going to do an interview here. Oh, one more thing. I brought one of my buddies in. Doesn't this just look like a shaman stone? Speaks right to you, doesn't it? It just goes with the cards to me so well, and how I felt when I saw these cards to the suffering of society. And yes, I know we all have our own contracts and we made these choices. So I really don't know what my answer is for that. But I'm here to help birth the new energy. I'm of the Merlin tribe. I don't really know what planet I'm from. Akashic reading, I'm a Raphaelite. I mean, on and on it goes. So these cards, they just hit me. Hit my heart. My heart of society is pretty much what they hit. So, first question I asked the deck was how it sees itself. And it sees itself as the lovers. A pact made at midnight. She's holding her hand over her creative fire chakra, fertile. He's unraveling kind of down at the knees and is wrapped around her ankle. It's really hard for me to examine. They are saluting the moment at midnight of which they have made this bond, knowing that nothing will survive. That's not right at all. You know, I mean, united in death, I kind of lost where I was going with this. But the unification of it, she is more aware of her subconscious, but she does have her eye open. So this is a long-term pact that she has made to unite her soul or to unite a soulmate. I had all these wonderful things to say about this card until the camera came on, and I may just pop right back to it because, you know, this is a crescent moon. This is, he says, make of it what you will. And I just see this is the uniting of emotions. This is an emotional card. This is a Cancer card. This is a Moon card. That's how it sees itself. It sees itself in helping to empower people and relieve their suffering. What is this deck's strengths? We got the Two of Pentacles. That it's all a dance. It's all a rhythm. It takes some perfection of thy will, to do thy will be done, to balance all this, to get through life. Two of Pentacles is a just coming together, putting together the life, but the life is a dance. It's a dance in rhythms. So that's its strength, to help us see our rhythms, see our potentials with the two. Twos are great potentials of putting together. I hope many people buy. This is not so factory looking. This is a little more fantasy looking. Will learn to use the Pentacles to learn their imagination because that is how you create. You know, the old wizard adage, it appears to be real, but yet, it's an illusion. We can create that illusion. We can create manifestation. We can create. This card, yay, hey, huh? This one and that crazy sailor and that Dark Mansions Tarot are my two favorites. What is the weakness of this deck? I think the weakness of the deck is that it's not going to cut you any sunshine. It is... this deck, I think, is so caring. She makes sure that not a drop of that precious blood from the grail, of the imagination, of the peace is spilt, that it's available for everybody, but not everybody sees it. And I almost came up with a reason this deck had a weakness, and in actuality, the card that was another card that kept kind of trying to come up for the weakness of the deck came up later. So I don't see a weakness in this deck. But what I do see is what could be a weakness in this deck maybe is the images are so symbolic and the colors are so vibrant. A lot of people may be scared of this deck. But the Queen, she holds the knowledge in that cup. The knowledge is in us. And in this cup, she doesn't have blood dripping. She has like blue of the soul dripping. She's here to help everybody teach their soul, but they may be afraid at what they have to look at. There is no cover on her cup. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did this deck come to me at this time? And here again, on some of these, I go with his interpretations in the little book. I really doubt I'll buy the big book that's $35 because these cards, they just speak to me more on a society basis right now, and that is something that we need to wake up and look at, because the swords are piercing. Swords are mind control, not paying attention to what you put in your mind. It's so hard doing this. Who am I supposed to look at? The swords are on the ground. The swords are on his shoulder. See how small amount of his subconscious, the blue, and his consciousness of his eyes open are, I said that backwards, not so much backwards as he's not listening to his subconscious. Well, if I reinterpret this card, this is a 5, and he is rearranging the swords for a different kind of a battle. I don't see this card as the harshness that the Rider-Waite shows it. I see this as collecting the swords, because the sword of truth in your mind and in your interaction, in everything you do, it's your mind, it's your strategy. It is your will. How are you going to rearrange your swords to change your life? The life of society. I mean, they've spilt the consciousness. They've run us on an illusionary trip that people are just, the dancing brings out some of the realness, but they're just trying to track us over with a false sense of love, working on the water of our emotions. Okay, let's get going. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do we best work together? There's another 5. I have 2. Oh, this is a 7. Excuse me. Question 5. Number 7. So, we've overcome the obstacles, and we're making a new plan. And we're becoming new people. And then again, this is a cup. So this is again going to deal with the emotions. Where are you at peace? Which of your cups are spilled? Which needs to be filled? And right now our society is very broken like this. And the people in our society don't know which way to turn. This whole society thing. Somehow I'm here to help turn the society also, because as you become, so as within, so without. I mean, and that even goes down to your body. You know, what happens inside your body manifests on the outside of your skin. It just goes on and on. It is a fractal. There is no end to it. So we had best get to the planning board and overcome the obstacles, which I don't really think that's what it is. But why did it come to me at this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, how did we work together? We work together. We're going to be open. We're going to be peaceful. I trust this deck. I trust this deck that he's not standing up there all staunch and snobby with his cups full. Are hoarding his damn pinnacle. That's mine. Little roughness there, but you know, sword of truth, sword of truth. It's got a hilt. It's got a, now I forgot what they call it, the long part of it, and it's got a tip. And sometimes the sword of truth has to be used. What will the outcome of our work be? This is the card that wanted to come out earlier on working together. And I love this. Look at this. Now he says in this little book that this is a harlot coming to the church. I see that as an eye. It could almost be the eye of the Aurelian government. I like the way the pinnacles are arranged in a cross, which is a portal. And I don't believe going to the church where they're overseeing everybody. So I believe that in our nakedness, we're stretching around and changing. There's another 5. We have 2 5s in here. Okay. One of the harshness of the swords, and one to indicate poverty. And if you want to indicate poverty here, let's indicate poverty of having all our elements balanced and seeing reality and not being led by the service to self. Coming to evolve on our own. I know this looks like nothing like what's in the book, but this is just, when I saw these cards, they just started storytelling to me. They're really strange. What is the message it wishes to give us? This is my message. This is justice. Now she doesn't have a scale. She, he, it. It's got some keys. Showing some roughness. And in my limited knowledge, I want to say that in the macrocosm of the world, the lovers, card number 2, is a creation of learning love, to love ourselves, to love mirrors of ourselves on the tree of life. It's in the creative world emotional plane. And I'm not going to say any of those seraphic names because I don't want to do it wrong, even though I think I know what it is. But at the very top of the microcosm, sitting right above the high priestess and the magus, is justice. So these cards are going to help me somehow come up with some kind of a niche, and I don't mean niche for sales, but somehow will my voice, because you're not going to get to the top of the tree of life without the sword of truth. And I think these cards, the more I look at them, it just freaks me out because they can speak so personal, but on a society basis, which is a reflection of our personal, it's just there. The graveyards, the refineries, the harshness of it all. You know, not everybody has $400 napkin holders. You know, I mean, there is a whole tough life out there, these people that live in these rougher areas. And for them, life is a survival. I mean, life's a survival for everybody from their own point of view, because we all have our darkness and our suffering and the things that people don't see us do. But for those parts of society that if I can assist to lift that, I've just always been a crusader for the underdog, which is basically, I think, how I fell from grace, of the richness of which I was raised. I'd say monetary money, but I am the Pisces, I am the mystic, I am, you know. And the bottom of the deck, just because I love these cards, is the Tower. They're going to bring about a change. So I don't really know how I'm going to use these cards, because there's 2 major arcanas in here. There's 2s that come in together. May we all find our justice. Woohoo! And our love. And one way to find it is through dance and study of the mystics. And restructuring and replanning. And if we can do that for ourselves, we can do that for society, and maybe we can decrease of this is so much what I see, because so many people, even though they go to church, they're so void of awareness of their spirit, which could be leading them, or what does Doth call it the Rosh, the intellectual, even part of our spirit that is always active, to bring about the Tower, to bring about a whole new change of society here in this age of Horus, the age of Aquarius, a new world, a new us. So, like all the rest of my videos, that one was probably crazy. You guys have a great afternoon. If you sat through this, thank you. Many blessings. May the goddess bless. Bye-bye. See you next time.